now in this project, and in a lot of our initiatives, we are doing a lot in terms of advancing the interests of women, but also trying to bring them opportunities that can help them reach their goals. And so, of course, as we know, every year, 8th March, we celebrate International Women's Day. This year will be no different. And as PSFU, we go an extra mile to do that in a very unique way. What we do, you've seen the season 1, the season 2, and again this year, we are going to be having the season 3 of the International Women's Day Katale initiative. And this particular initiative we took up because we think it's a nice opportunity or an opportune mechanism really to be able to drive solutions, you know, towards women in business, the challenges they're facing. But more importantly, we also showcase opportunities for them, for instance, in financing, in work. And we also give them an opportunity to network amongst themselves. So they don't just come to a Katale and sell their items, because this is what we've been doing the past 2 years. But they also get the opportunity to check out what someone else is doing, to get access to service providers, both in the public and the private space. And in 2022 is when we had our first Katale. It was held in Luwero. I think some of you were in that space. That was our inaugural Katale. We had about 100 exhibitors. 2023, that was last year, we held our season 2 at the UMA Multipurpose Hall in Kampala, had about 250 exhibitors and several attendees. But also this year, season 3, we'll come back to that. But first, before we get into the specifics of season 3, I would like to invite us to check out this highlight video of what season 2 Katale was like.
I would like to thank Private Sector Foundation, Uganda and MasterCard Foundation for organizing this event and applaud their continued support in promoting gender equality. Let us use this Katale as an opportunity to ensure that women and girls have equal access to technology and digital skills.
Initiatives like Katale contribute to accelerating women's journeys towards economic empowerment. Appreciating PSFU for using Women's Day Katale to celebrate young women and bring them closer to the private sector players.
At PSFU, we are committed to promoting gender equity. We have partnered with MasterCard Foundation and created 55,000 new work opportunities for young women. Over 250 women in business have turned up for this Katale.
Thank you so much to PSFU for having your on Boss Day. I've got to impact so many women. So PSFU, this has been such an honor. Thank you.
Nkubira abakyala mwenna gye muli. Guno mulimu si bubi. Tonyooma mulimu gwonna gw'olaba. Mulimu gwa springboard nnungi. Bebaza nnyo aba clinic kye mukoze ku side zaffe nga ffe abakyala bakolera ku springboard.
Tuwe tudda kati nga tumu exhibition ng'eno. Mulimu okwega engeri tukolamu emirimu gyaffe era twebadaba nakikola ogwokubiri. Tujja kuwira bangi.
Tukkiriza nti bwe tukwatira awamu n'omukyala, bwe tuzzaamu omukyala amaanyi, omukyala agenda kubeera nga yimusa eggwanga lyaffe mu biseera by'omu maaso. Jjukira nti omukyala mpagi y'amaanyi eri eggwanga.
This market day has been amazing. It's been a wonderful opportunity to interact, not just with people who've stopped by our booth, but we've also gone to check out other booths, and we are really blown away by the amazing work that's being done by other women entrepreneurs in this space.
Enkola ng'eno nja kugyettanira olw'ensonga tufunamu emikwano ate tufunamu ne bakasitoma abatusuubiza okutugulako oba tusingana ku maduuka gaffe, so tufunamu connection.
Sorry about that. As you can see, Katale is a gift that keeps on giving, and season 3 is expected to be even bigger and better. And here to tell us a little bit more about that, we have our panelists in front of us, and I'll ask Apollo to come welcome our first speaker.
Thank you, Cecilia. Good morning to you all. Our board vice chairperson and our CEO, the lead firms that have been represented in this launch today, the members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have you all here this morning. We are here to launch the Katale Season 3. And I'll briefly talk about it because we have a lot in store. But before I even get there, just to let you know why it's important for us. As PSFU, you know we are all about business growth. And because we're all about business growth, we're given the wonderful opportunity to work in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation through close to 36 different businesses. Some of them are represented here like Movit. And we're working in partnership with them to open up work opportunities for young people. Up till now, we have opened up close to 124,000 decent and fulfilling work opportunities for youth. But it even gets better, it even gets sweeter, because this time round, through Katale Season 3, we see an opportunity to even create more work opportunities, especially for our young women in that part of the world. So, the country. So what do we have in store for you this time round under Katale Season 3? We listened to you, the feedback you gave us from Katale Season 2. You requested that instead of having 2 days together, we should have at least 3 days together. So that's changed. We're going to spend more days together, giving an opportunity for young women to showcase their products and services. So we're going to have a discovery corner this time round to give an opportunity for young women with special projects, products and services to showcase. We will this time round also have the entire spectrum of PSFU projects, especially those that have an opportunity to lend for women in our country. They will all be there. So we're going to have an entire PSFU street showcasing the opportunities that they have for women in our country, whether it is to give them access to finance or financial services and many other things. This time round, we'll also have a membership desk for PSFU to give an opportunity for businesses and associations from the eastern part of Uganda to register and get on board the PSFU bus. We will also have a number of co-implementing agencies that we work with under the Young Africa Works Partnership, especially those that are working in the eastern part of Uganda. They will be there, showcasing the opportunity that they have to work with young people. And yeah, last but not least, Jinja is a beautiful city, and we're going to be showcasing its beauty. It's an opportunity for you to come out there with your family and enjoy the beauty of Jinja. So in the last Katale, we had close to 200 exhibitors. We see from the interest that has come through already that this number may grow. So we have also accommodated that this time around, and we are sure we'll have more than 200 exhibitors. My advice to you, after the launch has been declared, move quickly to the link, register your business opportunity so you don't lose out. And just like we had last time, we had a number of business clinics for the women who want to register their products and services with the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. We had a URSB desk. we had a URA desk, we had a number of different service clinics aimed at improving business skills for young women. Those will also be available. And in not so many words, we have a lot in store for you. So ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't like to delay this any further. It gives me great pleasure to invite to the podium Madam Sarah Kajingo, our board vice chairperson. Sarah, you're welcome.
Hi everyone. A very, very good morning. Our CEO, Stephen Asimwe, Apollo Mianjambazira, the project director, and your entire team, our lead farms here represented, and esteemed members of the media. It gives me great pleasure to be here today to launch the Women's Katale 2024 edition. Just a few weeks away. You know, March is a Women's Month, and do not be surprised that this room today, or PSFU now, the panel, you know, is women heavy today. So PSFU, like you have heard, business growth is our business. We are led by a board chaired by my colleague and friend, Mr. Humphrey Nzei, who should have been with us today, but is away on a business engagement, and I bring greetings from him and the entire board, which is represented from a wide spectrum of sectors: tourism, creatives, which is a non-traditional growing one, and 10 others. I represent professional services. The uniqueness about our board is that we are elected, so we grow through our ranks. We are not appointed. We are also heterogeneous in nature, which means that we are representative enough. We have a valuable range of outlooks, and with that various representation comes increased corporate governance, increased trust, which is why you see that we are partnering with several organizations. Just 2 days ago, we were with Uganda Industrial Research Institute, where we partnered with them to train women. And so PSFU will be catering to the cost of incubation, of accommodation, so that we can have more women trained, skilled, and they grow their businesses. So, but we are here today because of the PSFU Women's Katale 2024 edition. We have had a very progressive and beneficial partnership with MasterCard Foundation. So far, we have enabled 124 SMEs to be export ready. As you know, we've been partnering with government to open markets, on integration of markets. You are aware of the new opportunity of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and which is why we moved to readying businesses. So we have readied 124 SMEs, but you know that in order to access these markets, you must have quality products. You must have standards, which means therefore that products of the entire business sector, of the Ugandan business community, and specifically those for women, must be certified. So in partnership with MasterCard Foundation, we have so far paid for the certification of 500 products at UNBS. Without that certification, you cannot penetrate any market. We have, since 2020, created 124,000 dignified and fulfilling jobs. And our understanding of a dignified job is that it should earn a worker, it should earn an employee over $1,000 a year, you see? So which translates to about 330,000 shillings per month, about 3.9 million shillings a year. Baby steps, but a good way to start. And the other one is, you know that Ugandans are very entrepreneurial. We have appeared in several research reports as an entrepreneurial country, but we also suffer a very high mortality rate of startups. So again, in partnership with MasterCard Foundation, we are working towards a national startup policy, and the idea is it should enable businesses to grow. We are quick to open businesses, but the first year, second year, businesses die. So we are ready with a zero draft. We hope that in the next 6 months, this will be fast-tracked, and we are already engaging the Ministry of Trade, development agencies, as well as everyone else engaged in support of startups. The other one is readying young people, graduates, for the world of work. And recently, 145 MasterCard scholars graduated at Makerere University. These are MasterCard Foundation scholars. So our role in that endeavor is that we partner with the Makerere University MasterCard Foundation scholars to ready these, graduates for the world of work. We have seen, so many young graduates who cannot communicate. Maybe we need to now help them in critical thinking, interpersonal relations. So we're happy to recently partner with Makerere University MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program for a summer school to ready those graduates for the world of work. And that's about it, about our partnership with MasterCard. Otherwise, we thank you for this. Is Women's Katale. This is our 3rd edition. The first was in 2022 in Luwero. We had a very vibrant one last year in Lugogo. This very one will be in Jinja. And we think that this is a for women entrepreneurs to connect, learn, and grow. And it has been growing tremendously since 2022. We have over 100 entrepreneurs last year. Everyone showcasing their products at Notch. And here in Jinja City, there will be exciting opportunities like you have heard. We shall have business, we have URSB, we formalize businesses, we bring authority, and we've been university to change our status as opposed to we shall have our team to allow people with digital PSFU and benefit from this project. We also begin to our queen in and show and you had recently the Uganda Bankers Association speak to this, which is really a good step. So this year's Katale will empower hundreds of women in the skills and knowledge they need to thrive, bridge the economic gap for women in Uganda, and inspire a new generation of women entrepreneurs. Even you, the media, I know that you have the biggest brains on your shoulders. You interview all these movers and shakers in the economy. It's about time women in media and all of you start, you start small and you grow. There are so many instruments in government, so many instruments available in the private sector, and which is why for us now, because we promised you 2 years ago that we'd be taking this to the region. These are continuous efforts, but PSFU has grown so much. We have so much to support business growth. We have enabled women startups to showcase at trade fairs around the world in the region, and it's about time that the media takes charge. You know, these people you interview could be a market, could be, you know, the people who speak for your business in rooms where you're not, partnerships, collaborations. So take them up. You do a good job. You cover us, and I thank you very much on behalf of the board and entire management of PSFU for always fostering businesses and for supporting private sector foundation in particular. And I urge you once again to make our event in Jinja a resounding success, to amplify the voices of women entrepreneurs, celebrate their achievements, and pave the way for a more equitable and prosperous Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair of the Board, Ms. Sarah Kajingo, for those words. And as we get deeper into our program, we will now have our CEO, Mr. Stephen Asimwe, to also address us, tell us a bit more. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Our Vice Chair, who is standing in for the Chair, and by extension the board, and all the 330 business associations, very welcome, and thank you for those good remarks. My colleagues, Apollo, who is the head of the Young Africa Works Project, Cecilia, our colleagues from the office, and also my fellow media colleagues. I'm still part of you, ladies and gentlemen. I think that Madam Sarah Kajingo has covered pretty much the spectrum of why we are here, and obviously the earlier submissions by Apollo and Cecilia. Mine is very short, and I'd like to focus our audience or the media for this matter about 3 issues. Number one, 2 weeks ago we had several protracted graduations, and close to 700 young people graduated. Of that 700,000, half of that were ladies, or girls for that matter. So we have over 500,000 graduate women coming out of universities and tertiary institutions. We also have those who drop off after P7, after S4, after S6. They enter a job and opportunities market. Now, that number is a critical mass of unemployed or people who don't have access to opportunities. So PSFU, with the guidance of our board and our members, decided to quickly come up with a strategy to engage, to facilitate, to support, and encourage women, but mostly young women, to enter business strategically, with focus and with support. So as my vice chair enumerated, we are entering the 3rd season of Katale. And the impact of those 2 Katales was so profound because everybody who participated and went through the full engagement has shown growth in the way they do business. And so we decided, with their guidance, that let's make this a national affair. As she mentioned earlier, Katale 1 was in Luwero, Katale 2 was in Kampala, and this time we have gone eastwards to Jinja and the eastern part of Uganda. So, how do we intend, and I'll close on this one, to grow this initiative? It's not just an event, it is actually a movement to engage women, and specifically young women in business. And like they have enumerated, there's so much that is going to happen, but we want to ensure that we have deep roots, engaging associations, civic leaders, and obviously the Inebantu, who is a model, to ensure that there is a carryover and people are equipped with skills and capacity. But this time round, we are also looking at telling our young people to go beyond the borders of Uganda and take advantage of the East African community and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. In that event, or those couple of days, as enumerated, we are going to be doing hands-on business clinics, but we also want to suggest that once we leave, there's a level of continuity that will take place there. So I'll close with those few remarks and suggest that we invite you, the media, to be in Jinja for those 3 days. We want you to interview people. We want you to engage, to have conversations, but also to see what sort of opportunities can be highlighted. Engage the role models, people who have been in business for longer, and then we can then replicate and showcase all of this in our subsequent either radios or TV or print media space or social media. So welcome to PSFU, welcome to Katale 3, and like Sarah said, even you as journalists, you are a business person, take advantage of this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen Asimwe. There you have it. We are going to have Katale Season 3 in Jinja from the 15th to the 17th of March, 2024. If you are a woman in business, please register. Media, please join us as always. Young people, old people, anyone really. If you're interested in seeing what women in this country are up to, please make sure to join us on those 3 days. So now we are getting into the Q&A session. So I'm going to invite Apollo to lead us for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. I'm here for the Q&A session. So if you have a question, as you ask that question, there are microphones near you. Tell us your name and the media house that you represent, and kindly keep your question short. If you raise your hand, I'll make sure that a microphone gets to you. Anyone? Okay, we have a hand.
Thank you. Good morning. Is it still morning? Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Mine is, in the recent days, I've been following up on a lot of...
Sorry, your name, please?
Dennis Igor. I'm working for UBC TV.
Okay, thank you. Dennis.
The last couple of weeks, I've been following up on some trending developments in the private sector. And what I've noticed is that there's a lot of focus on women. Like I was with Sarah somewhere the day before yesterday, and it was also women-oriented, whatever, initiative that was launched. Now we have the Katale, and I can see much of the focus is also on women. And I'm starting to think about this. Are we leaving the boy child out? Or some of us have grown to an extent that we support anymore?
Okay, thank you very much, Dennis. I'm going to request the panelists to turn on their microphones. To whoever. Okay. Okay, since you're talking about women, I'm going to give CEO an opportunity to first respond. Okay, let's take questions first. Thank you, Dennis, for that question. Your name, please?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Sorry, please be more.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Julius Wasonga, working with NTV.
NTV.
Yeah, NTV.
Thank you,
I have
Julius.
2 questions. Could you give us a highlight on the impact of the business so far? Of the Katale.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the other question is, give us a report card on the progress of the Katale, the previous Katale.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julius.
Right, thank you. My name is Nicholas. Maybe for clarification, Julius is asking for report card of the previous Katales. What has been their impact to businesses? The 150, the 250 that took part. What success stories do we have? Relatedly, I have questions from Joel, is late from Baba TV from Eastern Uganda. He has sent 2 questions. One question is, what is the qualification criteria for small businesses in Eastern Uganda that want to take part in the Katale? What should they do to be part? And lastly, from Joel of Baba TV, is saying, from what happened in Luwero and Kampala at Wuma last year, what lessons did PSFU pick from what women are suffering from, and what has it done to address those issues 1 year later? Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Next, please.
Yes, good morning. I'm called Brian Alvin Zimgira. I work with Smart 24 TV and NBS Kodea Radio in Jinja. My question is, we have a lot of women who are involved into business, but they haven't yet formalized their business. They have a worry and they have a thought that registering a business needs a lawyer who are so expensive. How are you organizing to help that category of women? Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Any other question? I'll take one more.
Another question?
I'll take one more, and then we allow the panelists to respond to these questions.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Sarah Zawede from Bukedi newspaper. Mine is regarding registration. What is the procedure? Is it free of charge or there's some token?
Thank you, Madam Sarah Zawede. Okay, there we have it. I will allow the panelists to respond to the questions that have been raised in no specific order, the one that you are comfortable responding to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I'll speak to Dennis on the boy child. And then I would like to suggest that the questions of participation, registration, etc., be handled by our technical team. And then the strategic issues will be handled by Madam Sarah, if that's okay. So Dennis, that was a very good question. If you look at statistics, whether by UBOS, whether by the National Census, whether by the UNDP, the Population Fund, you find that there are 2 pyramids. The first pyramid is on the quality of the business person. The most prosperous entrepreneurs are men, and they hold the bulk of the money, of the capital, of the enterprises. So the higher you go in business environment, it becomes skewed towards men. The lower you go, which is the larger pyramid on population, is where you find the bulk of the women. And most of them are micro, they are small, and they get thinner as you go to the medium enterprises scale. And the reasons behind that is that when businesses start, usually it is the women who start them, because about 82% or thereabout, depending on which scale you use, the person who benefits from the business eventually, and especially where the either girls or women who are married, there's a tendency that the men tend to usurp the proceeds and actually get to own the enterprises eventually. Who owns the capital? When it is time for collateral or for security, it is largely, and I'm using those words sparingly and carefully, it is largely in the hands of the men. Now, that is one. The second one is that many women never rise, even in terms of potential, either due to insecurity or lack of access to credit. They tend to go for very expensive financing. So you find the bulk of the women are the ones who access microfinance or lending arms of business. Now, in capital or credit, there is the cost of the credit, and then there is access. So less women access banks, which have cheaper capital. They go largely for microfinance or more expensive credit instruments. Now that keeps them very much on the lower period, so they never rise. Now there is the other pyramid, which is now things like export, access to business education, business development services. You tend to find more men in that place. So quickly to answer your question is, how do we scale them to be able to enter competitively, assertively, but also research has shown that when women are equipped, trained, and capacitated, they actually do better. Now, that is research-based. So to answer the question is, we in Katale are trying to push them to enter that accessibility atmosphere. So where does that leave the men? The men are still influential. The men are still the main drivers, and they still have a lot of enablers around them. But that's not also PSFU's central drive. Our drive is, and I'm going to conclude on this one, our drive is, can we have equal opportunities? Can we have shared value propositions? And Katale is not entirely a women's thing. No, no, no. We are saying even the men can come alongside their wives, their sisters, their daughters, and be part of this success story. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simwe. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you very much. Very interesting questions. What do we learn from these engagements with women is that, yes, they start, many of them, like you have heard, are micro, informal, and they need to be scaled to small, to medium, and who knows, they could grow into top African brands. Women, we are naturally cautious. So there are not many women who go for these loan products with very high interest rates in banks. So you find it's the women with approaching microfinance, and you know, we have a big opportunity now. The African Continental Free Trade Area of over 1 billion people. They women need to have their products certified. Many women are into mushroom products, but to certify one product with Uganda National Bureau of Standards may take you $500,000 shillings, which is why our partnership with MasterCard Foundation is very valuable, because we are enabling so many SMEs to be able to access markets. Without certification, you cannot penetrate any market. Regarding Dennis's concerns about the focus on the girls, again, we are working towards a balanced world, because as it stands now, you find a woman does not have collateral, the home is not owned by the woman, they do not have anything to use for collateral, and which is why now at PSFU, and this is the bigger picture, we have been reading the Riot Act for the banking institutions and saying we need patient capital to grow businesses. And so we are already conceiving a catalytic fund which will have the opportunity to unveil when it matures, that will disrupt access, will disrupt affordability. The other one is our partnership with World Bank. You know about GROW, the project intended for women to rise, and this is for the lady who asked about women. And it's a partnership between the government of the Republic of Uganda and private sector foundation to scale women's businesses. But there are so many instruments accessible by everybody in the business sector. So again, you're all welcome, participate. You need to grow. Do not sit home and, wait for handouts. For a business to be called a business, it has to be registered, which is why we are engaging Uganda Registration Services Bureau to be present at all our exhibitions, at all our business summits, at all our business engagements, and they'll be present in Jinja to guide everybody engaged in business, everyone who would like to formalize, to register. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those responses. And for the Katale, Cecilia, please.
I'll speak to the criteria for the SMEs to be part. First of all, there's no charge. It's free of charge. Really, the interest is to enable these women walk away with something. And we have seen in previous Katales that an average of those who are doing well went away with an average of about 1 million Uganda shillings in just those 2 days. So with 3 days, we are hoping that will grow even bigger. And with your support as the media, we can bring more people walking through those stalls and possibly bring in more revenue to these young women. The other thing is that we shall be publicizing a link for registration where we shall collect information, because we intend to curate that exhibition experience for Katale to represent a number of different opportunities that we have, but also the sectors that we are working with, the different partners that we want to bring on board, especially like those who can support young women to formalize, like URSB. They don't need a lawyer, as someone asked, to be able to do this. However, they will be walked through these business clinics. And what we are trying to do is gather information on the different interested parties so that we can create that experience, an end-to-end experience for women in business.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. So in about a minute, I will be calling upon our board vice chairperson to officially launch. And once that is done, the information is going to be available. I have been informed that we have a QR code that all interested exhibitors will be able to use. And we are going to give an opportunity to the representatives of the press that are here to try out that QR code and link. And like Cecilia said, we also have a telephone contact number. It is the only official number that we'll be using for Katale. And I'd like to read that number for you, 0702 369 372. But again, this number is going to be shared widely once the launch has been declared. Now, Brian from Smart 24 TV, I think you've received your response on business registration. That is going to be encouraged. There are a number of opportunities, but as long as you're not registered as a business, whether you're a man or a woman, you're not going to tap into the opportunities that the panelists have talked about. And registration for this event is free. Rush immediately and share your details of your business name, a brief description of your business, the product or service that you want to exhibit, your business status, the support that you need. You'll be asked to upload your logo and email address. All this information is going to give us very good idea to see how to position different business clinics that can address your specific business need. Someone asked that what specifically women in business looking for. That is how we get to know. When they indicate the information through that link, that is how we get to know. Okay, so thank you very much. I would like us to quickly move on to the next stage. Before we move on to that, we're going to have another recorded version in the local language, Luganda, so don't worry about that. That's coming through. In the interest of time, we're now moving on to the launch. And Arthur, are we ready with the board that will be used for signing? Kindly guide me. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to call back, I'll request Madam Sarah Kajingo to come back here on the podium and officially launch Katale Season 3, and we will be good to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, CEO, and thank you, Apollo, and your team. Waliwo ampeereza message nti twogereko mu Luganda nga tetunnaba kulaunchinga. Kati akatale kano twakatandika mu 2021 kaali Luwero. Akalala ne tukakola wano e Lugogo era nabalaba mwajja. Kati ak'omwaka guno tuli Jinja, mujje mwenna abakyala mujje. Ekigendererwa kiri nti abakyala bakola nnyo, batandika business ne business endala mu nsi ne bwe tumala emyaka 5 oluusi omwaka gumu nga business zifa. Bannayuganda mu kutandika businesses tuli bakafulu ne bwe tumala nga business zikola ki zifa. Kati wano ku Private Sector Foundation enkulaakulana ya business, okutumbula omutindo gw'ebintu bye tukola, businesses gye bikola, gy'emirimu gyaffe, okuweereza, tuli baweereza, tubaweereza, tulina ate ffe wano tetusasula musaala, aba board tetusasula musaala, tulondebwa bulondebwa. Chairman waffe Humphrey Nzey yalondebwa ab'amakolero, n'ennondebwa professional services. Mukyala Victoria Sekitoleko aba agriculture, aba ICT nabo ne balonderwa. Ekigendererwa kiri nti eddoboozi ly'amakolero, eddoboozi ly'abasuubuzi, eddoboozi ly'abo abalina businesses entono ezakatandika tulitwale oba banka ng'ezo interest y'amaanyi nga tuengaginga banks. Government ng'eyo, environment business mwezikolera eri etya. Era mubadde mutulaba nga tutetenkanya ne government ne ku butale obulala wabweru, naye kati obutale obwo bwonna gye buli African Continental Trade Area, COMESA, East African Community, ebintu byaffe bye tutaddeko omutindo bituuseeyo bitya. Bw'oba toyina ka stamp ka Uganda National Bureau of Standards ku kintu ekyo kyokola, oba katiko wakapaakinga, oba muyembe ngogo wagupaakinga wakolamu juice, ekintu kyo kyokola ekyobusuubuzi tekisobola kukkirizibwa mu butale buno. Kyova olaba nti ffe enkolagana yaffe ne Mastercard Foundation okusobozesa bano aba business entono okulaba nti bafunye ka stamp ekyo kintu ky'amaanyi, kubanga oluusi business ntono yakatandika, omuntu bambi afunye ka looni asobodde okubaako kyakola, naye ate bw'otuuka mu UNBS bagamba nti ojja kusasula $5,000 nga toziina. Kati mu myaka gino gyonna enkolagana yaffe eya PSFU ne Mastercard tusobozesezza business entono 254 ne ng'ebintu bye bakola products 5 okufuna ka certificate yako. Ekintu ekyo ky'amaanyi bwe tutyo bwe tujja okukula. Akatale kano ekigendererwa kiri nti kubanga guno omwezi ogujja gw'abakyala, abakyala boolesa ebintu byabwe, omuntu ayinza okuba ng'ayitaayita oba munnakenya oba muzungu oba munno n'agamba omanyi ekintu kyokola nga kya mulembe nnyo katukolaganire wamu essente tuziteeke wamu tusobole okutumbula omutindo gw'ebintu byaffe n'okutumbula businesses zaffe. So abakyala baba balinze nabo bakoleyo ka deal. Ne mulaba nti yo private sector foundation tuyina business associations ezisukka mu bisatu. Business zonna ze baatulondera tulwaneko ziwera miliyoni 2.5. Ne kati leero tuli wano lwa katale k'abakyala mu mwezi ogw'abakyala. Tubayita mwenna abakyala mujje e Jinja. Omwaka ogujja tujja kugenda mu bitundu ebirala. Ne kati mujje ekifo kiikyo Rugby Grounds e Jinja mweyuna akatale kano. Registration ya bwereere ka link ba staff bajja kabaweereza mwewandiise tewali kusasula mujje mwolese. Ekirala tujja kuba tuli ne Inebantu Jovia Mutesi ate mmanyi nti alina influence y'amaanyi nnyo ajje akunge abasoga mwena tusangayire tugenda kukola ki tujja kubaayo nammwe Jinja nange nja kubaayo ffenna tujja kufaayo URSB ejja kubaayo ekuyambe okwewandiisa. Tewali kyosobola kutuukako nga business nga teweewandiisizza na URSB. Ate bino bye mutya nti oba oyina okubeera ne lawyer ate akusaba miliyoni akusaba $5,000 URSB ejja kubaayo. UNBS Uganda National Bureau of Standards ejja kukola ki ejja kubaayo. Banks zijja kubaayo. Naffe tujja kubaayo tulaye nti tubayamba tubatetenkanya ate tubawa guidance mu kutumbula businesses zammwe ne bye muyina okukola. Mwebale nnyo. So I hereby declare Women's Katale 2024 launched and we welcome you to Jinja. Thank you very much.
Jinja Kwadeyo. This is for the women hustlers in Iganga and the boss ladies in Kamuli. It is for the shakers in Luka and the makers in Mayuge. This is for all women in business in Bosoga and surrounding areas. The PSFU Women's Day Katale is back under the theme Bridging Economic Divides for Women's Prosperity. It is happening at Dam Waters Rugby Grounds in Jinja from the 15th to the 17th of March. Come network with fellow women entrepreneurs, meet potential customers, market your business, enhance your skills, get inspired and take your business to the next level. Entrance is free. For more information, call 0702 369 372. PSFU Women's Day Katale is proudly brought to you by the Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Idinda mwekaza kino kyabakazi abali kukakalukanira mu Iganga n'abo abakazi abakungu mu Kamuli kyabo abali kuyuguumya Luuka n'abo abakola ensibuko y'emayuge kino kyabakazi abenyigira mu byensuubula mu Busoga n'emiriraano olunaku lw'abanneekolera jjanga abakazi mu Katale olutereibwawo Private Sector Foundation Uganda luyize kaayi ku mulamu ogukoba guti okuyunga ebyenfuna ebikutuddemu abakazi okukulaakulana. Akatale kano kategekeibwa ku kisaawe kya Dam Waters okuva nga 15 okutuusa nga 17 ogwokusatu. Idoogemagane ne bakazi balina abasuubuzi weekubane n'abaguzi abamanyi olanga ebyamaguzi byo otumbula obukodyo obwo ofuna ekinnigenige ekikola oyongereyo emirimu gyo mu maiso okuyingira kwa bwereere ebibulawo kuba ku nooti 72 36 93 72. Ekitongole ky'abanneekolera jange ekya Private Sector Foundation Uganda n'abakutuusizaako olunaku lw'abanneekolera jange abakazi ab'omu Katale.
Thank you also very much for this. We will now take the interviews, the individual interviews.
We also do training for people who want to learn how to make beaded jewelry, quality beaded jewelry. We do carry out trainings, and after the trainings, we can buy from you and support you too. So our prices range from 5,000, and that's for the bracelets. And then for the necklaces, we have 20, 50, 150, 250, because we have bridal. So bridal goes for over 150, 80, 200, depending on what you want. Yes, thank you. We are Katiti Jewelry on Instagram. We have a website, which is katitijewelry.com. So check us out. And TikTok, we are not so common there, but we will get there. Twitter, Katiti. Thank you.
Hando was a George Tegede, Nafeba Katiti.
Jinja Kodeyo. This is for the women hustlers in Iganga and the boss ladies in Kamuli. It is for the shakers in Luka and the makers in Mayuge. Jinja Kodeyo. This is for the women hustlers in Iganga and the boss ladies in Kamuli. It is for the shakers in Luka and the makers in Mayuge. This is for all women in business in Busoga and surrounding areas. The PSFU Women's Day Katale is back under the theme Bridging Economic Divides for Women's Prosperity. It is happening at Dam Waters Rugby Grounds in Jinja from the 15th to the 17th of March. Come network with fellow women entrepreneurs, meet potential customers, market your business, enhance your skills, get inspired, and take your business to the next level. Entrance is free. For more information, call 0702 369 372. PSFU Women's Day Katale is proudly brought to you by the Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Idinda mwekaza kino ky'abakazi abali ku kakalukanira mu Iganga n'abo abakazi abakungu mu Kamuli kyabo
Ladies and gentlemen, just a moment of your time. We have an announcement, a very important announcement from Ovid.
Okay, thank you, Cecile. So, good afternoon, everybody. So, for the Women's Katale in Jinja, us working with PSFU and MasterCard, we have over 300 salons that actually have been trained already in business and all these things, and even registered. So they'll be part of the Katale, but most importantly for Movit, as a company that actually manufactures products, hair, cosmetics, body care, and all these things, we shall be actually working on women's hair for free that day. So the only thing you do, you just maybe buy a shampoo or anything, some of the products that we make, and we work on you for free. this we've been doing, even in the last Katale. So show up. We will have a range of salonists that will be working on you, professionals, yeah. So come ready for a free makeover. Even in the last time when we had the Inebantu's, wedding and all these things, we worked on 500 women in the East for free with our product, free product and everything. So come back for that same experience this time round. Thank you so much.
Abakazi abenyigira mu byensuula mu busoga n'emiriraano olunaku olw'abanneekolera jjanga abakazi mu Katale olutereibwawo Private Sector Foundation Uganda akatale kano kategekebwa ku kisaawe kya Dam Waters okuva nga 15 okutuusa nga 17 Ogwokusatu. Ido ogemagane ne bakazi balina abasuubuzi weekubane n'abaguzi abamane olanga ebyamaguzi byo otumbula obukodyo obwo ofuna ekinnigenige ekikola oyongereyo emirimu gyo mu maiso okuyingira kwa bwereere ebibulawo kuba ku nooti 7